Hi darlings, and welcome back to my channel Choco Beauty Name, and this video is a DIY Fulani Feedin braids with knotless box braids at the back. Then I decided to use some beads to just make everything look nice and proper. So the very first thing is to divide your hair into two portions. The front part is meant to be for the Fulani Feedin braids, while the back part is going to be for the knotless box braid. And I'm going to go back to the back part again and now divide that into three. Then I'll be using my shine and jam gel to make sure the lines are smooth enough for me to braid the hair. So this is the first part of the back part. Like I said, I'm going to be dividing into three. So this is the very first part that I'm dividing right now. I'm trying to make sure that it's smooth enough before I repeat the same process to the second line and the third line. So basically you're going to be having three different portions of hair, or three different packed sectioned hair at the back of your head, and you're going to make sure the lines are smooth, and you're going to now begin to work on them. So basically I have just three lines here, and this will serve as the lines that I'm going to work on for my knotless box braids. So I'm going in with Darling Nigeria easy braids, and like it says, one pack is always enough. I wanted to get black, but this is the closest to black I could find. I had to go in with leave-in conditioner to smoothen the hair, and I realized that this helps my hair look neat and flawless, and so you can give this a trial. Section the first line into three, then the second into four, and the third into I think 5. And this is what the knotless box braids are looking like right now. They're quite big. If I will not lie, they're quite big, but I still like them either ways. You could decide to make yours smaller, but I made mine this big because I wanted the hair to look voluminous. So I'm just going in with my shine and jam gel to make sure my hair is neat. I decided to put that on the roots and on the tips of my hair, and you'll see the reason why I'm putting it on the tips of my hair pretty soon. You just basically want to separate your hair into three portions like you would when you want to braid your hair. And then I'm going to rest my hand on the left hand side like I just did now. Then I'm going to come in with an extension, going with the first part like I'm doing right now. Use my index and thumb to hold down together, then weave a bit so that I end up back on that same left hand side, then go in with the second extension from the very first one I added. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically you can see my index finger and my thumb pointing out as if it wants to grab something. So that would help you grab the first part of your extension. Then you can weave, then land back to the left hand side like I just did, grab the second part of the extension, then weave again. I only went in with shine and jam here so the hair could look really neat, so you can decide to skip that part. But basically you want to go in with the extension and grab the first part, weave, then land on your left hand side, go in with the second part of the extension and weave again. By doing so, it will not be so obvious, or it will not even be obvious at all that you just braided your hair with an attachment. I don't know if that makes any sense, but this is just like a flawless way to like braid your hair with an attachment so it doesn't give you issues or look rough and whatnot. So I'm going in with shine and jam gel to just make sure that my hair blends in smoothly into the extension. And this is not the only effort you would have to make. You still need to make more effort, but this will just make it a lot easier for your hair to blend into the extension, especially if you have a type 4 natural hair. It might be a bit hard, but don't worry, you overcome. And this can be a lot stressful on your arms. So before you do this, make sure you do some push-ups, carry some dumbbells, so that you have that energy and strength in your arms, because it's not easy at all. Anyways, I'm going to be repeating the same process for you again to see, because I feel like I didn't explain the very first one well. So basically you just want to part your hair into three portions like you want to braid, like I'm doing right now. And for me, I end up landing on my left hand side. And the reason why I went this far was because I wanted to be able to grab or have a good grip on my roots basically. So that is why I decided to at least weave like twice before going in with the extension. So basically, go in with your extension and hold on to the first side, weave a bit, land back on the left hand side, pick up that second extension with your index finger and your thumb, then weave again. And you just want to rinse and repeat. Just keep doing the same thing till you feel like okay, you've gotten the sizable amount of knotless box braids that you want. Then you can now stop adding extensions. But for this particular video, I added extensions like 4 times, and my extensions came in semi big sizes. So going with your extension, use your index and your thumb to hold on to it, then weave a bit, land back on the left hand side with your index and your thumb, then grab the second extension in, weave it again, and that is just it. It's quite simple actually if you can like learn the trick and know where to land. So basically you want to make sure that till you weave or braid your hair with the extension, keep landing on the same place. Your index and your thumb should keep landing on the same direction that it landed the very first time you started to braid. So by the time you add your first extension, if you landed on the first hand side and that on the left hand side and that is convenient for you, keep up with that. Don't land on the left hand side, then not land on the right hand side, then not land. It will just confuse you. So now I'm trying to tuck in my hair into the extension, and what I'm just basically doing is opening up the extension a bit, then roll my hair into the extension, because if you don't do it this way, your hair is going to get pretty rough within like 2-3 days and you will not like the outcome. So I'm just going to roll it in, then weave it down, and that way the extension is totally covering my natural hair. And that is why I decided to also go in with shine and jam gel, so that would make it easier, that would make it flawless, if you get what I'm trying to say. So that's just what I did all through the back of my head. You can decide to skip the knotless box braid side and just weave your cornrows to the back, to the nape of your hair. Now we're just going to proceed to the front part where we're going to be doing the Fulani Feedin braids, and this has got to be the juiciest part, the easiest part for me. I love this part. So I tried to section my hair into these different portions, so it would be a lot easier for me to weave in. So now I've done a side of my hair, and this is what one side is looking like. You can decide to like part your hair whichever way you want. Shall make sure that at the end of the day it is going to the back. Really, I do not have like a particular formula as to how I part this hair to look this way. Sometimes it could come out this way, sometimes it could come out another way. I don't have a particular formula for it, so that's why I'm advising that you do it the way that suits you basically. So I'm going in with shine and jam gel to make sure everything looks nice and good. Then you want to just start off like you would usually start a cornrow. So if you don't know how to cornrow your hair, I have a video and I'm going to be putting up the link up here for you to watch. But basically you want to just start up with a cornrow, and I always do this first so that I do not put so much strain on my scalp. So now I'm going to also now be going in with an extension, and I'm going to be making use of my mouth in this particular process. So my mouth is going to be holding on to one side of the extension while I weave to the back, and once I have landed on the right hand side, like as you're seeing, I go in with the extension that I was using my mouth to hold previously. I don't know if you are understanding me. Is he understanding us, or are we understanding it? But basically you want to weave to the back, bring in an extension. You know your extension is in 2 parts. Now use your mouth to hold one side of the extension so it doesn't slip, then weave like nothing just happened, weave to the back. Then your landing site, which is my own right hand side, is where you will now take in the extension you were using your mouth to hold to just go in. So at the end of it all, you realize that it's the index finger and the thumb that is doing most of the job. So the index finger is what is going to be helping you pat the hair as you go on. It will be patting and be grabbing at the same time. So make use of your mouth, but if you feel so confident enough to pull this through without using all your sense organs, it's fine. Just do you and make sure it ends up looking good. But this way my hair comes out really nice and really neat when I use my mouth to hold it, because it just doesn't slip anyhow. So once again, go in with your extension, use your mouth to hold one side, weave the other side like you're weaving normal hair, like nothing just happened, because nothing just happened actually. Then when you get to your landing side, which is my own left hand side, is it my left hand side, my right hand side, sorry, then you go in with the one you've been holding with your hand and just rinse and repeat. Go over and over and over again this way till you've exhausted the hair you're trying to weave or your cornrow, and you're good to go. It's actually very easy if you follow this process. Trust me, I'm lazy when it comes to things like this. So for me to be able to have gotten this and it still appeared this neat, then this process should be able to work for you. And it's well detailed, it's self-explanatory. Merely looking at the video, you can understand the logic behind the feed-in cornrow. I mean, it's a DIY, so you should be able to do this yourself without any voiceover or voice note or whatever. But this is just what the hair is going to be looking like if you follow the due process. If you even notice, it's beginning to look like stitch braids sort of, but nobody has strength for stitch braids, I beg. But really, this is just what the whole thing is looking like. And you might be wondering how I got my lines, my patterns to be this smooth. Well, I used the shine and jam gel, and this helped my patterns to be this smooth. I'm going in again with the shine and jam gel to make the ends of my hair pretty smooth and to blend my hair into the extension easily. So do not be selfish with your shine and jam gel. I really do not know if there are other braiding gels that you can use to achieve this look, but it's always the shine and jam gel for me. So I decided to add another extension because I felt that the extensions were beginning to thin out. I wanted them to be as thick as the ones at the back, as the knotless box braids at the back. So I decided to add more extensions, and that is pretty easy. Just follow what I did in this video and you'll be easily adding extensions to your hair. So when I get to the tips of my hair again, I try to pull it out, add more shine and jam gel to smoothing everything out. Then I'm now going to try and tuck in my natural hair into the extension by basically opening up the extension and rolling in my natural hair into the extension. If you get what I mean, it's very easy, very simple, nothing to add about it. You just have to make sure that when you've gotten to this part of your hair, you're keeping calm, you're not rushing to do it. If you rush to do it, you have to loosen it again and repeat it again. So this is like the logic to having a neat finishing basically. So I'm just going to braid down the rest of my hair, and we're going to be trying this out again on another section of my hair. So as you can see, it's so neat, so nice for a type 4 hair. Trust me, it is really nice. So now for this second part again, we're just going to be doing the same process. Start off with a cornrow, then you're going to get your extension, use your mouth to hold the first side of the extension, then weave the other side into your hair. Then when you've got into your landing side, your landing space, which happens to be my own right hand side, I'll grab the extension to the back and weave to the back with it. So you can decide to like count 2 paces before you add your extension, or just count 1 pace before you add your extension. I think mine was 2 paces, and that was why it was this thick. If you decide to do 1 pace by extension, you're going to have a thicker hair, depending on how depending on the size of the extension you had already cut out. the size of the extension I'm using right now is not that big, it's not that huge. It's like a small size. That is why my hair is just semi thick at the end of it all. So you just want to like basically repeat that process. I feel like me explaining it is just going to probably confuse you a bit, but if you can really see what I'm doing here, you would realize that it's the simplest thing to do, and it doesn't really require so much stress or so much wahala. So you just basically want to go in with your extensions that way till you've gotten to the end part of your hair. And trust me, it's not easy at all, and go pain you, but you'll be fine. The easiest way to lose your front hair, your edges basically, is to start them with the extension. That is why I always start mine with my natural hair first, then weave to some point before I go in with an extension. At least this way I will not be losing my front hair when I'm ready to loosen this hair. Don't start your front hair with an extension. It's going to cause a strain on your scalp and you will not like it at the end of everything. So I'm just going to weave this all down and we're good to go. This is what my hair is looking like right now. So juicy, so neat, so flawless. So I'm going to like trim off the flyovers just to give it that good finishing look. Then I'm going to be setting it with hot water. This would make everything calm down, not to be too huge and too voluminous and too gege on my head. So to make everything calm down and look better, then I'm going to be wiping off the water with a towel, and as you can see, the ends of my hair are looking better. Then I'm going in with my beads, and this is like the highlight of this style for me. The beads did justice to it. So I went in with 4 different types of beads so I could just get that African earthy look. So I'm also going in with a mousse. Is it a mousse? Yes, a mousse. I'm going in with a mousse, and I'm just going to put all of this all over my hair just to give it a shine, to deal with every other leftovers I might, or flyovers, sorry, that I might have. So I'm going to cover with a do-rag, and I also decided to blow dry it so it would get dried faster. And that is just it, guys. We've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section if you're going to be trying it out for the early days, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'm going to be seeing you in one of my other videos. Happy holidays, guys. Happy New Year in advance. I love you all so much. Bye, guys.